Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. This episode of Welcome Home is brought to you by DVC Rental Store. Thank you for joining us on episode 349 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor. How's it going, Trevor?
Pretty good. And yeah, how's your week been?
Busy. You know, I just got we have soccer on Saturday morning, so for the time being until it gets to be summer, and then there's no more soccer because it's unbearably hot. So we just had a little bit of brunch, and because of that, I showed up a little bit late to our thing here. But
yeah, that's all good. And
yeah, how's yours?
So I used to do soccer when my son was younger, and I'm kind of glad that I don't. And actually, the funny thing is right now, even if my son was in soccer, it wouldn't matter anyway because it snowed here again last night.
Oh my God.
I know you're all probably sick of hearing about this, but this is
so much snow.
This is highly unusual, and I'm sick
really?
of it. Yeah,
Okay.
It usually doesn't snow this much into April. And
yeah,
I'm sick of it because I really am like itching for summer. And I guess the funny thing is like you were saying, like, you're doing soccer now because it's way too hot in the summer.
Yeah.
My summer is like your spring. So I'm like waiting for that. And yeah,
I get that.
It's not coming soon enough because
you need to come sooner. Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's rough.
Yeah, I just need some warm weather, I think, is the only thing.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. It's been busy, there's been a lot going on. It's been a busy couple weeks here. So,
yep.
But we can get right into it unless you got anything else random you want to talk about.
I don't.
Hey, Hoppers is coming a couple days here, Trevor. So you're gonna have to check that out.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Actually, I was mentioning that to my wife because I think I'll admit when it comes to movies that are in theaters, like there's definitely a thing now where it's like whenever something new comes out, there's the whole meme culture that
I get that. Yeah.
Like stuff comes out and it's like people start referring to movies and stuff like that. And I'm seeing stuff on like my Facebook feed that I'm fairly confident it's stuff that's coming from that movie, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't have any frame of reference, and they're not like just showing like video of the movie. It's like people are like quoting lines and stuff, and I'm like, this is coming from somewhere, but I don't know if it's that show or not. But I feel like it is. I feel like because I do get a lot of like Disney adjacent stuff coming on my feed, obviously. And I feel like I'm seeing memes about it, but because I've not seen the movie, I don't get what people are referring to.
It is really funny when you like have seen like a meme of something for a while and then you finally watch the thing that meme is from and you're like, oh, that's where it comes from. Okay.
Yeah,
like,
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's been so many movies because my wife doesn't like this, like she usually doesn't like the really like dumb kind of comedy things, and that was all like I really liked when I was like a teenager in my young 20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like any like we were talking about Super Troopers, and stuff like that, right? And so I made her watch Super Troopers recently, and then there's a scene of Super Troopers where he's like licking the wall, and he says the snozberries taste like snozberries, and she was like, wait, that's where that comes from, and I was like, yes,
oh my
but
gosh.
also also from Willy Wonka, but the meme around it,
yeah.
So like, but there's a bunch of that kind of stuff, and then when you first watch it, you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. Like that's it came from there. I mean, I always got the meme before, but it's funny to see the context. So
yeah, it's and I guess to that point too, like you're talking about like stuff from Super Troopers. I also realized too that like I feel like if you and I like watched our Facebook feeds side by side, we would get very different
probably
things like in terms of references and stuff. Cause I feel like my stuff, like I want to believe that it's like, oh yeah, everybody like gets like weird never-ending story references or
no, I mean, I get that stuff.
And then I realized, wait a minute, actually, maybe most people don't get that. Maybe it's because it like, I mean, obviously, like I fit into that demographic where it's like,
Sure.
80s movies, 80s shows do like, I think I tend to stop on them a lot more than other things because it's like, oh, like here, there's like a Back to the Future reference or, whatever. And it's like, but so there's that. But it's also interesting too that I feel like it's also driven partially from like maybe the amount of movies that you watch or like specifically like, stuff on Disney Plus or Prime or whatever that you're clicking on.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like just the way things are interconnected now is that has some way that it's feeding back to like what you're seeing on Facebook and whatnot, because it's all coming from the same location, right? Like it's like they're using location information to like go, oh, like, somebody in this area is, looking at this stuff, which actually to that end, I just realized, or I remembered this as like when I'm at work, so like, on my lunch break or whatever, I'll go and like, flip on Facebook if I'm bored. Yeah. And I get very different stuff when I'm on the Wi-Fi at work, which actually is probably outing a lot of the people that I work with more than anything because because it's like, hey, I don't normally get this, but when I'm working at the office and I'm on the Wi-Fi, like I'll see this kind of stuff and it's like, why am I getting that? And it's like,
I'm always questioning. I'm like, why would that recommend that to me of all things?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's always very confusing.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a matter of where you are at the time.
Yeah.
But also, and like I said, most of my stuff though is generally pretty Disney centric. Like I do get a lot of stuff from content creators that, like people like Dapper Danielle and stuff like that it's like, oh yeah, I see that kind of stuff, but every once in a while I'll get something like kind of weird and I guess it's also like maybe that's trying to like see if I like stuff, but every once in a while it's like I'm like, did I get this because I'm standing in the wrong place or
I get weird. That's all. I get weird stuff all the time. Where like they like the recommended news on my phone will be for like some small town in like Michigan or something. Like new restaurant opening in insert podunk town here, and I'm like, why do I care about? Why would you think I care about that? Like
mine does this thing where it sends me stuff for the greater Vancouver metropolitan area. Which
you're not really part of.
Like if you look at the map, like Vancouver's by Seattle, I'm near Montana. Like if you like just to give the sense of how far apart those areas are. But it's funny because same thing for me is like I'll get something. It's like, oh, there's like a new like movie theater opening or something, and it's like, and then I look and it's like, oh, it's in like Prince George, BC. I'm like, oh, never mind. Like, thanks, Facebook.
Exactly. Well, this is it's just crazy. I always wonder these things. So but anyway,
just side observations, and I will check out Hoppers when it comes out. Maybe I'll propose that my family's actually we've been more so getting into the habit of we've been trying to sit down as a family and watch more movies together because
that's nice.
Because my son's getting older and like even he said is like we don't do stuff together, and because he's becoming an adult, right? Like he's he's kind of doing his own thing, but he's like, I'd like to sit down and watch a movie with you guys. So we actually, the last movie we watched was the first John Wick because my wife had never seen it, and my son had watched them as have I, but I was more than happy to go back and watch it again and get back into that series. And I know it's not Disney, but we watched that, but and then actually, before that we watched Zootopia as well. So like we do go in and out of Disney movies, but I'll put Hoppers on the proposal list for an upcoming week.
I think your son will like Hoppers. It's definitely not super kid centric. It's like Pixar, you know, it's kind of like most Pixar movies where there's a lot of adultness going on, and that goes over kids' heads, but at the same time, it's, you know, got some of those elements. But honestly, this movie it had a couple like scary parts to it almost, but you know that they really weren't scary. But like it's a hilarious movie. I just think you guys would enjoy it because it's really good.
And to that point too, like you know, I realize this is also something that I like, you know, we talk about our kids growing up and like, you know, from a Disney lens of like, oh, you know, your trips with them change and stuff. But even like watching movies is like, you know, something like a Pixar movie, you know, he has memories of that, like, you know, stuff like even Cars, like Cars was a movie that we watched a lot, like, cause he just enjoyed it when he was a kid. And, there was a lot of jokes in there that he never got at the time, which I'm sure if we watched it now, he'd be like, oh, that's what they meant. So it's,
I do that all the time though, too. Like now, like I'll watch something I watched as a kid and now I'm watching it now and I'm just like, oh, that definitely went over my head when I was a kid, but I get that joke now, you know?
But it's cool too. Cause it's like, as my child's parent, I get to like, I feel like I kind of get to let him in on the joke now. Like,
I get that.
Because before it was like, you know, there would be like those parts in the movie and like I would kind of glass my wife and go like, oh, did they just say that kind of thing? Like we wouldn't like say anything, but now we can like if there is a joke that it's like clearly like more directed at the adults than the kids, it's like we can all enjoy it together. So that's kind of a good thing too about like, you know, your kids getting older and you know, sharing in movies, even if it's not like I hate the whole premise of, oh, you know, if your kids are adults, or I don't know if this is like a thing that people are saying out loud, but I feel like there's like an unspoken thing of like, you shouldn't watch like a family movie with your adult children. It's like,
really?
Why not? Well, maybe it's where I come from. There's very much stigmas around like,
really interesting.
Yeah, like the whole thing about, or I guess maybe just in the circles that I happen to be in, that it's like Disney movies and stuff are like, well, that's if you're watching with your family, but family is like you're there with your kids kind of thing. It's like, well, no, I can watch it with my family. It happens to be, you know, me and my adult children. Right. Like it's a weird, and maybe for me, it also goes back to like, I have had issues with people in my family being like, I've said many times I'm a gamer, and people look at it and go, well, why are you still playing video games as an adult? And it's like the same reason that you read books or watch movies or, you know,
do you still get that? Because I mean, like, I feel like it's so much more mainstream. And, you know,
there are older people in my family that like, yeah, you're right. It's younger people don't do that as much, but I have like I have family like in like, you know, 60s, 70s kind of thing, like aunts and uncles and stuff. And that unfortunately is a bit of their impression, which I'm like, yeah, it's unfortunate because I don't get to talk about like even Disney stuff with them because they don't get it.
Yeah. Listen, I've always said this. I don't listen. Everybody has a thing that they're into that someone else probably thinks is weird. Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, they just do. Everybody does. Right. And so I'm not going to like judge anybody else's, you know, like, why would I like judge you for liking video games or liking, I've never understood like the Disney hate stuff. It's like, you know, I had this conversation with my sister one time, actually, because, you know, before she went to Disney a million times with us and with her in-laws, you know, she was kind of like giving me a hard time about it. And I was like, I, you know, she's really into soccer. And I was like, well, why do you like soccer? She's like, I don't know. I just like it. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Nobody likes soccer. Like, you know, like,
I mean, from the lens of like in North America, soccer is not.
That's
huge,
exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm like, and I'm like, you see, I'm like, why is your thing normal and mine not? Like, why can't they both be? Like, you know, and that's where it's like everybody's got their thing. You know, I don't understand why people collect stamps, but they do, and they have a great time with it. You know, I don't know. Why do I care if someone else likes doing something and I don't?
I guess, you know, talking about my Facebook feeds, I see a lot of stuff about Pokemon card collecting, which I don't even know why, because I don't like collecting Pokemon cards. The closest adjacent thing was like my kid used to be into Pokemon cards, but he hasn't been for years. But it's like I'll see like people like at these trade shows like dealing in like thousands of dollars of Pokemon cards because, you know, rarity and all that, which is like, it's fascinating. And I'm like, oh, you know, good for you. But it's like, you know, I'm not going to hate on somebody for it, but it's like, it's not my thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But for some reason just you talking about it, I just remember like, why do I get all those Pokemon card reels?
That's funny.
I mean,
like, I think the moral of the story is be you, enjoy the things you like, and, you know, don't judge other people for liking the things they like. You know, everybody can like the things they want to like. Why does it matter? So
that is true. But we kind of went down a rabbit hole right off the bat. It's
okay.
Here,
that's what we do. But especially since we have some fairly, I mean, I don't want to call it big news because it's like, you know, we knew about this.
It's a big news, but kind of a light week too. Because I don't know how much we're going to get into these topics. But
no, this one I want to get into though, which we got into a lot in the Discord. So we, after being like not so secretly under construction for a long time now, and you know, originally announced in 2019 now. I feel like we've been talking about this resort forever. We finally have some more information, slightly more information about Lakeshore Lodge, which, as I've said, will be forever called Reflections to me. Even though it never opened and was never built as Reflections, and they changed the name before they even started construction. Now it's Lakeshore Lodge, which, you know, I just like the sound of Reflections because it sounds like a wellness retreat or something. Yeah. But we've got now it's opening in summer 2027. And we got a few more details about it. And I mean, some of this was reported-ish before, right? But there's some, I have some interesting thoughts in here. But first of all, let's just go here. Theme to Bambi and Pocahontas and even Brother Bear, which wait for them to throw in a not loved IP or a not as loved IP, right? I mean,
okay, I would argue the Brother Bear stuff is more prevalent in Disneyland. So
okay, yeah,
maybe like I wouldn't say it's unloved. There is definitely stuff.
I'm not saying unloved. I'm just saying less loved.
Right, but I mean, Brother Bear is very much in the Grand Californian, and there's parts of it in California Adventure as well, like near Grizzly River Rapids and all that. So I get like it's a weird throwback because Brother Bear, like you said, it's a lesser known IP, but my take on that is they have it in Disneyland, and you know they tied it to Grand Californian. They couldn't just copy it over to Wilderness Lodge. I feel like this is their way of like trying to bring that IP over to the East Coast as well. Like this was their opportunity to do that because like you said, the theming is very like we're in the woods is the theme. Well,
it is interesting too though, because it does feel like Wilderness Lodge if it were a more modern upscale hotel, right? It's like it's a more modern version of Wilderness Lodge. Like Wilderness Lodge is it's not that it's not modern, but it gives you like that kind of rustic feel. This gives you modern kind of nature feel to it, right? And that's kind of what they've been going for a while here. Now, so there's some interesting things here. There's 967 rooms in this resort, which is a lot of rooms. I mean,
that's huge.
It's a big resort. And the thing I found interesting about this, Trevor, is that I noticed a couple things in this article, but the biggest one was it says here, I'm just going to quote this, with 967 thoughtfully designed rooms, this new addition to the Disney Resorts collection will offer a variety of ways to stay, from cozy studios to spacious suites. The part that stands out to me there is that it says Disney Resorts Collection and does not in any way in this article say DVC anywhere. Which, I mean, I'm not trying to say it's not going to be DVC. Like, I still think so. I just find it odd that there's no mention of DVC in this entire article. And this was originally announced as a DVC resort.
Right. So, okay. So here's my thoughts on that.
It's weird though, right?
Yeah, it is weird, but also I feel like this is I think Disney, like I said, when we first saw this, Disney took a stance on that. They're like, oh, this is going to be a DVC resort. But I feel like with the redesigning of it as Lakeshore Lodge, they realized that there was an opportunity there for not just a DVC resort, but I think that they realized that they were potentially leaving money on the table by not making it a split resort. So like Wilderness Lodge or, Poly or Contemporary, where you have a section of DVC rooms, but then the majority of it is still available to other people. Because the funny thing is that if they made it an exclusively DVC resort and it's that close to Magic Kingdom, people would be losing their minds over it. Or sorry, non-DVC people would be losing their minds over it.
They would.
Because they would see this huge thing and be like, hey, why can't we stay there? Right. Like, and
with some cash.
And that's the thing is that, I think Disney is looking at going, well, we don't necessarily want to put all of our eggs in one basket. And the interesting thing too is kind of like the Grand Floridian, where they reassigned some rooms that basically DVC expanded, right? That's not I wouldn't be surprised if Disney takes a stance with this of they open it as a larger, hey, this resort's open to everybody, you can book a cash, there's some DVC. And then maybe, as the hype of it kind of dies down, or when they're moving on to the next resort, they can, that's where the opportunity comes that they go, oh, well, we're expanding the DVC membership here, and shrinking the rest of the the cash bookings, because there is always, people are always looking for like the newest biggest thing, right? It's like maybe it's an opportunity where they can get the cash up front, getting people staying cash stays, but then later on offer it up as a DVC option and kind of scale it out that way. So that might be why, or that would be my thinking why up front they're not being like, this is a DVC resort, it's just a new resort. And I would also bet that we're getting the announcement on the resort here. I'm suspecting because it's not opening until 2027, we're probably not going to see anything from DVC about it until like the fall, like October, November. Because then they'll start like pushing listings and stuff. Yeah, they'll start selling like late this year, early next year. It is interesting, right? Because I do think this is going to be very much a like Animal Kingdom, Yacht and Beach Club situation where, because even if you look at the pictures, Trevor, it is very clearly divided into two separate two separate buildings, right? Yes.
So like my assumption is that one building
looks like three buildings there.
It could be. I the concept art has that. I've seen other concept art that shows it from above. So like I'm just thinking that maybe like it's here I actually found an aerial picture of the construction. Where'd it go? Oh yeah. So it is kind of two buildings, but they branch out. So it's almost like they I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Is this like sorry, I'll admit I've not actually been to Animal Kingdom Lodge, but is this going to be like a Kidani kind of deal?
That's kind of what I was thinking, Trevor, because it splits off like that. Like, and Kidani is like, they're not connected though. They're two separate buildings, right? But this is connected. This almost feels more like Yacht and Beach Club to me, right? Where it's like one side of it is the DVC side, the other side is the regular side. And that's kind of what I'm thinking now. I'm looking at the some of just like the aerial shots of just the construction, right? It almost makes like a W shape, Yeah,
there's actually like technically, like even though it's all looks like majority one building, there's like 5 different wings to it. Is almost what it looks like. So
it like branches out in a couple different places.
Yeah. So that's interesting too. If it's all a single connected. So actually, it doesn't even. I thought it was multiple split buildings from that concept art, but yeah, if it's all just a single building,
pretty much, yeah,
like you said, it's most likely that you'll just have Yeah, you'll just have like a DVC wing somewhere, which, I mean, I guess the only question will be, will it be the closest thing to the boat dock or the furthest thing from the boat dock? Because,
well, if you look at the concept art they have here, the buses are a little bit detached. The bus stop is on the right hand side towards the right hand building. So, that makes me hope that the right hand side is the DVC one, just so it's a little closer. But yeah, at 967 rooms, there's no way that this would be just a DVC resort, because that is a massive amount of rooms. Just for comparison's sake, right? If I pull up DVC info here, and I don't know if you've ever looked at DVC info, but they have resorts ranked by size, right?
Yeah.
And so if you look at Saratoga has a maximum amount of rooms available of 1,320 rooms, but they have total units that are 888 rooms. So they have the lock off, so they can break those out into separate rooms, right? But for all intents and purposes, they have 1,320 rooms. The next biggest one is Old Key West at 761. So you're talking this would be the second largest DVC resort if it was
exclusively
exclusive DVC. I tend to believe it's going to be more towards, I'm almost wondering if it's going to be more like a 60-40 split between DVC is going to be maybe 40% of it, and then 60% is going to be regular hotel, and maybe it's going to be more in the 400 room kind of area, which would still make it a pretty large resort. But here's Disney wants to add as many rooms as they can, especially for DVC around Magic Kingdom, right? I mean, that's prime real estate, right? And this is a Magic Kingdom area resort. It's not a monorail resort, but it is still a Magic Kingdom area resort. And you have a really nice little boat ride over. And listen, I'm a big fan of Wilderness Lodge, and I guarantee you we will be staying here, for sure, once this place opens, because this is right up our alley. But yeah, I don't know, Trevor. It's interesting because I was also looking at it too from one of the other things they have here is lake houses, which we knew they were going to have. You could see them being built. They're very much like A-frame style, which is very cool. But what they mention here, these are all along the waterfront. They say that they're going to be debuting new 1 and 2 bedroom lake houses across the waterfront. So they're going to have a new category of the cabins, right? Where they have
a smaller cabin.
Yeah, which is interesting. And when I say cabin, I mean the cabins that they have at Copper Creek, not the cabins that at Fort Wilderness, right? I mean, and also the bungalows over at Poly, right? That's a category that they have that's just on the water there, but most of them sleep a lot more people, right? They're usually 2 bedrooms, and they can sleep people in the living room, so you can sleep a whole bunch of people in there. They're going to have one that's just a 1 bedroom. Or I guess some that are just 1 bedroom. So that'll be really interesting to see how those are priced out point wise. If this is, I mean, again, I'm going to assume this is at least that these cabins or whatever are what are they calling them? Why am I forgetting the name they're calling them? Lake houses. Sorry.
Okay. I was what else do you call a cabin?
Lake house. Yeah, no, I'm assuming the lake houses will be DVC, right? Because that's I wouldn't think that they would have those as cash rentals, but I don't know. I could be wrong. So this is going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out, how the points shake out for that. Just based on though, Trevor, the concept art here, not the concept art. I'm sorry. The article that I sent you of the overhead pictures from Bio Reconstruct. It looks like the buildings on the right are much closer to the boat dock than the buildings on the left, unless they're going to build an additional boat dock for the left, which I don't know. Maybe they will. But
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know. It's one of those things that if you're using the boat dock or the buses, either way, you're walking across the resort. I mean, if you're going to Magic Kingdom, you're using the boat dock, obviously, because it's closer. But then, going anywhere else, you're using the buses. And I mean, this resort, I like that one of these overhead photos that you got. I actually like that you can see Wilderness Lodge in the background.
Yeah, so where it is.
You get a sense of scale of how big this is actually going to be, and it's it is definitely way bigger than Wilderness Lodge. But I don't know that, or I guess it's still not going to be for anyone wondering, like, yes, this is going to be a massive resort, but I don't think it's going to feel as overwhelming as, or my point of reference is when we stayed at Caribbean Beach years ago.
Yeah, it's not a
walking.
Yeah.
But like Caribbean Beach is kind of set up similar to Saratoga, like that there's a bunch of like everything's very big and spread out, and the resort has multiple bus stops because it's so big. I actually don't think, we're talking about like, whether you're closer to the boats or to the bus. I actually don't think it's going to be that bad either way.
No.
Cause even looking at it is really big, but because this looks like it's like 6 floors that they're going for.
Yeah. So according to this article, and they actually compare a lot of things here. So Lakeshore Lodge will be 10 stories with 10 stories, 967 rooms. By contrast, Wilderness Lodge is 7 stories with 728 rooms in total. So this resort is significantly larger than Wilderness Lodge, and it's the largest resort in Magic Kingdom area is currently Grand Floridian. If you count both its DVC expansion and its main resort, it's just over 1,000 rooms. So this is pretty close to the size of Grand Floridian. And it's one of the biggest, and they also mention here too that Riviera, still one of the newer DVC resorts, is 9 stories with 300 rooms. That's how much bigger this is than Riviera. It's massive.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. So, but again, to that point though, yes, it is massive. Like it's going to be very tall buildings and whatnot, but it's still relatively compact compared to other resorts. So yeah, I'm curious what the actual split's going to be, but yeah, I agree with you. Like it seems like a 60-40 split kind of makes sense for this, because why would Disney make another resort so close to Magic Kingdom that's only DVC? Yeah, like that doesn't make sense to me that they would do that. I
agree. I just thought it was interesting they just don't mention DVC at all.
I think this goes back to, as we've talked about that, DVC is its own entity within inside of Disney. And I feel like, because they're not the ones building Lakeshore Lodge, that, it's Disney that's announcing stuff, but then you will eventually get, DVC will be like, oh, we're going to have Lakeshore Lodge rooms available, this date, right? Like like I said, it feels to me like the DVC stuff is always trailing behind the actual resort announcement. So
yeah. I do have to say that I did a little bit of investigative work here. Mm-hmm. I actually contacted DVC to find out there's no world in which I don't think that there's going to be DVC here, right? Like, I don't think that the omission from the article means that, okay, well, now there's no DVC rooms that are going to be here. I didn't think that, but I just wanted to get confirmation of that. So I reached out to DVC, and they did confirm to me that, yes, that there will be DVC rooms here, but they didn't know how many or when or any of that. So,
okay. Yeah. All right. But that saves me a phone call, because I didn't mention this, but actually, so this week I actually did get a phone call from DVC because my previous DVC guide had retired. Oh, and so yeah, good for him. He was a nice guy. He helped get us set up with the Poly way back in the days. So thanks to Don Deal, anybody that ever dealt with him. But so I got a new guide. And he was, so he actually called my wife, and and my wife said, he was like, or we were saying like, no, we're not looking for any new points or anything right now, thank you though. And he's like, well, but I'm here to support you if there's anything you need. Like he was being like very like pushy, or not pushy, but like he was being over the eager. Top. Yeah, eager. He was being eager about it, and so I kind of made note that I was like, oh, like he's like trying to get our business, ready, obviously. But then that, like, as we're talking about Lakeshore Lodge, I'm like, maybe I'll give him a call and just like see what his take is on it, because, he seemed like really excited to talk to us, and, hey, I have a new DVC guide and maybe I can, get some information out of him. But like you said, if their statement is just, yes, it's coming and we don't know when,
they might not know anything.
I probably won't get much else out of him than that, I would
Yeah,
suspect.
I mean,
But,
I also, I have a friend that is a manager, one of the upper managers over at DVC. I could ask her too, I guess. But
we also don't want to get people in trouble either.
Of course. Of course. I mean, are you interested in? I know you stay at Poly pretty much exclusively, but does this interest you at all? Because I mean, it definitely interests me. We talked about this before. I love Wilderness Lodge, and this resort just looks really, really nice. It almost looks too nice. It almost looks how I feel when I walk through Riviera, where I go, "Ooh, gosh, I'm not classy enough for this place."
Right.
Like this feels like that kind of place.
This definitely is giving to me closer to Wilderness Lodge / Grand Californian vibes. Which is it's upscale, but not top hat and monocle level. That is I feel like Riviera and Grand Floridian are in that zone where it's like. Yeah. Like they are still DVC resorts. They're still just, vacation resorts, and, anybody, like, it's not, there's not a dress code or anything, but it still feels like a little too bougie. And this does not feel like Lakeshore Lodge does not feel like that to me. Like everything I've seen about it, it feels very welcoming. It feels very, like you said, it's Wilderness Lodge 2.0, which is not to say that Wilderness Lodge needs to be retired or anything. Like Wilderness Lodge still stands on its own, and I very much like Wilderness Lodge, even though I don't stay there. I like, we've been over there.
We the game.
Exactly. It's a nice resort, and I mean for Lakeshore Lodge, I would be curious to check out what they offer there, and I think the one thing that might make me want to at least try getting, or I don't want to say get points there, but maybe just like try and do a stay there is, we talked about like the pool situation, right? Which we haven't talked about, or they're not really covering it in this article, but we talked about this before, where the concept art was showing like it has the potential to have something close to a beach club type pool situation, right? Which that to me is very appealing. Having a lazy river at your resort is like that. Yeah. I like I said, I don't know that I'm like sold on, I need to get points here, but I'm definitely curious about this resort.
You might try a night there. The article I was looking at, by the way, Trevor, does say that they are building a new dock for Lakeshore Lodge, and the one you can see actually in the overhead picture is actually the Fort Wilderness dock. It's that close to Fort Wilderness. You could this is an interesting thing actually, because we have always wanted to do Hoop to Do Review, and it's kind of a pain to get to Hoop to Do Review, right? But like if you stay here, you can literally just walk there. It's right there. Like looking at the overhead picture, you don't realize how close it is to Fort. I mean, it's really close to Fort Wilderness. It makes sense, but.
I guess. Sorry, I'm looking at Wilderness Lodge. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Fort Wilderness is further. You're right. It is closer to Lakeshore Lodge.
Yeah, like it's literally right there. No, I mean it's really close. It's right there.
I'm actually. I'm trying to see exactly. It's hard because it's all wooded there. I can't see exactly where Fort Wilderness is from.
Yeah. So if you, I just sent you another picture. You can actually see where the construction is from right there. It's really close. It really it's. I mean, listen, it's on the site of River Country, and River Country was obviously right at Fort Wilderness there. So, but I'm telling you, Trevor, the last time I was at Disney, which was in November for the party, we were on the boat at one point, and this resort, Trevor, is massive. The pictures do not do this justice. Like we looked across the water and we're like, whoa, that resort is big. Like, and you can just see it from so far away too. It's a huge resort. So yeah, listen, I'm excited for this. I want to check this out. I want to stay here. I'm all in on this place. What?
Yeah, no, sorry. It's just I'm picturing you like standing at the door, or like, when, like, let me in. Just
well, listen. By the time this opens, it will have been 8 years in the making, right? I mean,
Well, okay. I mean, yes and no. I like it had a redesign, I guess.
Not really, though. It looks exactly the same as the concept art that they put out for Reflections. It looks the same.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel I know that they went back to the drawing board on this stuff after the pandemic and all that. I mean, yeah, I guess it has been technically 8 years, but I don't see it as.
I don't know. I'm just looking at the pictures, the original concept art from Reflections, and it looks like it's exactly the same. It looks like all they did was change the name. Which I know, I remember when the concept art came out for this, there were a lot of people saying it looked like a dorm or like, which I don't agree with. I think it looks pretty cool. I like the look of it, but
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, yeah, I mean, but it's just been going on for a long time. It just feels like the culmination of like so many years of waiting for it. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just, I just want to see when they actually do the DVC announcement stuff. Like I said, I'm betting on October, November timeframe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's my, and that's, I think, when I'll be more interested. Cause like right now it's still very like, yes, they are giving us more information, but it's like, I want to know details on point values, like how it will compare to other stuff in the area. I'm assuming
categories.
Yeah. I'm betting like it'll be in the same level as, Wilderness Lodge or Contemporary. Like,
yeah.
I mean, any of those resorts where you're like 15 to 18 points a night, at least for a studio. But then also, yeah, like you said, seeing those 1-bedroom cabins, like where will those sit? Right. So,
I'm going to be very interested to see where those sit because in general, from a DVC perspective, and a lot of people feel this way about 1-bedrooms, is that they're not worth it because the point premium that you pay on them, you might as well just get a 2-bedroom at that point, right? Because it's not all that different from it sleeps the same amount of people as a studio most of the time. And the point premium you're paying on it is just not worth it. You could, and given like the jump from a 1-bedroom to a 2-bedroom is a pretty good amount of points, but it just, because it sleeps the same amount of studio as a studio, you basically just should get a studio,
well, I mean,
unless you
the
want
difference is
it's a door. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the cutoff room, but also, the difference between a studio and a 1-bedroom is the kitchen as well. Yeah, that's really also what you're getting from it too. So
it's true.
I mean, yeah, like I get that, but I guess the way I'm looking at this is like, for other cabins, like points for cabins are really high and understandably, like they're, like, we're looking at cabins that like they're like using points for a cabin would be the same as us using points for a week at a studio, right? Like like the scale is, or a cabin for one night, I should say. So like the difference in scale is huge. But if the 1-bedroom is like in that sweet spot in between where it's like obviously I expect they will be more expensive than a regular 1-bedroom, but if it's enough that you could justify, like, hey, you're staying at a cabin, it's, it's on a lake, which also the fact that, I mean, it's still going to be a busy resort because it's near Magic Kingdom, but I feel like those cabins are the furthest removed from like Disney as a whole. Like it kind of, I see where the potential, like the points could be justified in that, like you get your own little like secluded pocket in the middle of Disney World, which is kind of
it's pretty cool,
kind of an interesting appeal, I think. So I'm curious to see what the actual DVC announcement looks like for this.
I'll be interested too. Because it is going to be interesting how they price those. I mean, the thing is, there's going to be so few of them, that anytime you have a few of anything, they end up being pretty expensive. It's going to be a lot of points because it's the amount of supply is so low. It's the points are higher, and it almost feels like they're going to have less of these than they have at Copper Creek. But I don't know. They haven't. I said the final number yet, but I'm just like looking at like overhead pictures and trying to count them. I mean, it's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, maybe like 15 or 20. It's hard to really tell, but it's going to be a tough get for sure, right?
Yeah. So are they, correct me if I'm wrong, it looks like there's going to be some on, or so if you're facing the resort, is there going to be cabins on the left and the right sides?
Which I thought was interesting, because I was looking to that to be like, which side is the DVC side? Maybe the cabins are only on that side, but no, they're on both sides. So, yeah. I did just do some Googling, and I found someone stating that at some point that it was not announced, but I guess rumored that it was going to be a 60-40 or 50-50 split between DVC and cash room. So I don't know, but that was just my guess. I hadn't seen that yet until just now. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll find out soon here, more information. They've really just started giving us information about it, right? I mean, they've literally been working on it for almost, a year and a half now, and have said nothing,
which I think is fair. Like that, yeah, sure. I think if they keep like drip feeding those updates, it doesn't hit quite as hard as when they just announce something big, right? So
agreed. All right. I don't have anything else on this. I'm sure we're gonna have more soon. But until then, that's really it. But we're gonna find out more. But Trevor, why don't we go ahead and do our ad, because we talked about this for longer than I thought we would.
Oh yeah.
And then we can go and talk about a couple other things.
Sure. All right. This week our sponsor is DVC Rental Store. DVC Rental Store is a key holder vacation company that offers magical vacations at incredible value. Save up to 60% off retail rates at premium Disney resorts. DVC Rental Store now includes deposits as low as 25% of the time of booking and a built-in cancellation policy for every reservation. And as always, DVC Rental Store pays out the most to members looking to rent their points. Want to learn more? Go to dvcrentalstore.com/welcome home or call 1-855-DVC-RENT. That's 382-7368. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you.
All right. So a couple other things, Trevor, here. One of the things, and I don't know if you watched this video, I did, but the Imagineering, Walt Disney Imagineering has like a new video series they're calling Pardon Our Pixie Dust, where they take you behind the scenes of behind the walls, right? Where the construction walls, I should say.
Yep.
And one of the things they did in this they did a couple things in this first video. First of all, they showed us some construction of Lakeshore Lodge, where basically the guy's taking us through the hallways of, the lodge that are obviously not completed. Not really much in there. It's more just very construction-y. There's not much we get to see actually there.
Yeah, that's boring. I don't like that part because it just looks like any other office building. But yeah.
You care more about the Rock and Roller Coaster one, I'm assuming.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
The set decorator for it looks like it was the loading area, right? I think he said it was the loading area. Is they're decorating the set now for Muppets, and he was showing all these props, and so many of these props are coming from the Muppet movie in 1979, like the actual props from that time, which is pretty cool.
I mean, that's I'll admit I didn't even think about this because what this looks like, or this area that they're showing off, it's the, like you said, it's the loading area, as you come out from the pre-show into the back alley that old Rock and Roller Coaster, it was meant to look like a back alley, and honestly it was very boring, right?
Yeah.
And the thing that I didn't really think about because I was thinking about this from the lens of all the stuff leading up to the pre-show. It's they're going to put all the stuff into those rooms because you pass through a couple of rooms before you hit the pre-show. But like you said, this is the loading area.
They're doing something with Gonzo here.
Yeah, but the thing that gets me is I didn't realize how boring that loading area was previously.
I had nothing in there.
Yeah, and this is so cool. Like you said, yeah, it's very, very clearly emphasizing Gonzo here, or at least the stuff they're showing. But this is going to become one of those things where going through the ride multiple times, you're going to find all kinds of cool little details. And like you said, the fact that they're actual props that they're using from the movies and all that is I shouldn't be surprised that Disney does that anymore, but it's always nice when they take something like that and they're like, hey, we're going to put this in a queue where it's clearly visible, right? Where it's like, they're not just like keeping it in a vault somewhere. It's like they're trying to incorporate it back into the rides and into like the atmosphere of Disney, right? So
yeah, I also think
cool.
there's also a hat that Gonzo wore during Christmas, the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
there's some rubber chickens, of course. But I do also think this informs a little bit on the ride too, right? Because I'm assuming they're going to do something with the Great Gonzo as you're taking off, right? Like the Great Gonzo is known for, doing feats of I don't know,
feats of daring.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
So like maybe it's a thing where like, so I don't know if you ever got around to, I think you said you did, you watched the most recent Muppet Show thing that they put out where he had like the skates on that were like, had like rockets in them or wherever it was.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, you could kind of use that for this, right? Like you could have it where Gonzo is like, unless they're just going to put up stuff about Gonzo and we're just going to have to fill in the blanks, which might be the case,
but I guess I could see them possibly tying this together with, because as they said, the car itself has been renamed to the limo, which are the
LIMO.
Yeah, I can't remember what the acronym is anymore. It's large, immediately moving object or something.
Yeah,
like
I think
that
was something like that. Yeah.
And but I'm wondering if maybe there's like some back and forth banter between Gonzo and Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker, like maybe as it's taking off kind of thing. Like, Gonzo's like, oh, hey, I modified it. Wait, what? And then
yeah, exactly.
Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking it'll be if they're if this isn't just like display pieces that they're putting into the queue, right? Like
they might just be display pieces, but I think it would be really funny if they did somehow integrate that of like, Gonzo doing a stunt, the Great Gonzo, I should say, doing a stunt while you're taking off.
He's helping, right?
Yeah.
Gonzo's version of helping you get to where you need to go quicker, right? And which, I also totally love on brand.
Yeah, I love that there's just a box that says the Great Gonzo weird stuff on it. It's really funny. But yeah, we get a nice little sneak peek at what they're doing in the queue here. And like you said before, I mean, I've seen video of it many times because they used to play that one video incessantly in the room of the loading area, where you take off. You can see it's just like nothingness in there. So. Yeah,
it was the most boring back alley ever. And it was funny because like they had all like the chain link fence, like you can see it, like it's, the chain link fence that it was just like nothing. It was so I forgot how barren it was, but I think part of that actually it drew into the anticipation of the ride because of the fact that it was like there was nothing else to look at than people launching on the coaster, right? So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So but this will be like, there will be the coaster there, but there will be plenty of other stuff to be looking at in the ride or in the queue, which is, I mean, honestly, that, without turning it into a fully interactive queue, this is actually the best case scenario that, it's, like I said, it's no different than Haunted Mansion or any of the other like classic rides where it's like rewriting it or redoing it multiple times gives you opportunity to find details. And that's what they're saying here in this video is that, there's going to be lots of stuff in here, which, hopefully it's not just this one part with Gonzo stuff. Like I'm kind of assuming that like there should be more stuff in here, but
they're muppeting out the whole thing, not just one area. Yeah.
So I guess we'll see when it actually opens up.
The coolest thing would be is if they somehow had like a Gonzo, like I don't want to say animatronic, but something like that, like next to the vehicle, and you guys take off at the same time, and he like comes with you.
Oh man,
how cool would that be?
I don't know how, or I guess that they could make that work because
they could make that.
I was thinking about like the current way it was set up, but really the only thing that was there is there's a wall that stops you from seeing the larger structure of the coaster. But there's nothing saying that they couldn't move stuff around so that, you could have something launching alongside the coaster. So.
Yeah, but he doesn't make it with you, obviously, because he would fail.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, of course.
smash into a wall or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other one they did in here, and this shouldn't be as fascinating to me as it is, and I have no idea what you thought about this one, but I thought it was fascinating. They showed one of the sculptors doing the walking path for Big Thunder Mountain, like redoing it, and the way that they like make it look like like it's been worn in, and that there's a wagon that went through it, and like the donkey footprints and all that stuff, that the whole process, I thought it was fascinating, especially for something that like nobody's even looking at, like no one's looking at that.
Well, except you are. Like I guess maybe it's
you're not looking down though and going, oh look, there's the wagon wheels there and the donkey thing. There must have been a donkey with it. You know what I mean? Like I would bet you the majority of people don't look at that stuff and think about it that way.
Okay, fair. The majority of people don't, but I was gonna say I'm absolutely looking at that stuff when anywhere I am in the park. I'm always like, oh, like actually, it's funny that like you said, you're pointing that out, that they're taking a bunch of time to really make it feel like it's worn in, all that. It feels like an unnecessary detail, except it is very necessary, right? Like, and like to your point, like I am always like, oh, there's horseshoes there, or there's like bird feet, like, in certain places, or like, like I'm just trying to think of like all the different places. Like you kind of overlook.
You see that stuff all the time in Disney. Yeah. Like,
you're not like blown away by it, but it's always like, oh, well, there's something in the concrete, like it, but, and I guess you don't always think about the fact, hey, somebody had to like actively sit there with a mold and do that. It wasn't just like it's not just a like spur of the moment thing that they're doing, right? Like it is very, very planned. Yeah.
And I mean, even just them, like the cuts that they put into it, and then like they threw down these rocks, and then they like tamped them down to give it like texture, and then they like put the prints in, and they put the wheels in. It just that's the things that Disney does, that are details that people may not notice, but they're going to do it anyway because it's part of the storytelling of the ride.
Yeah. Also, the fact that they're doing that, I think, also is as much function as it is style too, because when those areas get wet, they don't turn into a giant slide. Because it's because if they just poured smooth concrete, it would be like I don't know if you've ever slipped on concrete before, but it sucks.
I have, yes, I have.
So I can see where them, texturing it is also a matter of, it does give it a bit of grip too, that, just happens to look nice, but also, serves the function of, so I've been in the Big Thunder Queue when it's rained before. And although part of it is covered, like the hill leading up to the ride, like I couldn't imagine that not being textured concrete.
Yeah. I rode it in the rain one time. Oh man, that was fun. I mean, we were soaked afterwards, but it was fun. Like we were all laughing afterwards because of how soaked we were, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But okay, well, I think that's it for that. But I love that when they're doing this kind of stuff, because I love the behind the scenes stuff. I love seeing how the sausage is made, so to speak. So
yeah, and it's taken for granted, I think. Agreed. Like you said, yeah.
I almost feel like they're doing it to be like, hey, look at the stuff that we're doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is all intentional, and it takes a lot of hard work to make this work. So appreciate it more, Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that is fair. It's good to highlight that stuff because, like you said, how many times have we all, stood in places in the park and you're not, it's not that there's like anything going on, but even like the walkways, there is deliberate intention to what they're doing, right? Like even if you don't notice it, somebody deliberately put work into making it look a certain way. And I think that's what they're, that's what they're trying to show off. Yeah.
Agreed.
All right.
Another thing, go ahead.
So you wanted to, or you put this next item on here, and I'm guessing, or it seems random, except it's not, because I I believe that the tie into this is because of Earth Day.
Sure.
But Disney released a 1 hour ambience of Living with the Land.
Yeah. Which I love.
Yeah.
Good.
So, or I guess we should start from, this is just like, I guess they just filmed riding through the ride and then looped it, kind of like they did with the with the monorail. And I'm not mad about it. I'll be honest. Like it's
the Ambience videos that are on. They have some on Disney Plus, and then there's some on YouTube. Are awesome. Like I have put that stuff on in the background before. Like the monorail one, like you were talking about, right? They just loop a video, but like you kind of hear the monorail in the background, you hear the announcements, you kind of get that little sound. Like this is the same thing. The video just goes through the scenes of Living with the Land with the music and with the narration. Like, I would put this on in the background if I was just doing stuff to like trying to chill and I love the Ambiance stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the only danger of this one is that like I could very easily fall asleep to this.
Totally. But not in a bad way though. Not like in a boredom way. Yeah. It's just so chill,
Yeah, exactly. Like if Living with the Land was longer, I could definitely take a nap on it. And again, not from a place of like this is boring or anything, but like you said, it's such a relaxing ride. And and you don't realize how much the music actually plays into it. Like they actually did like when you're hearing just the music, I don't know. It's such it's a 90s vibe, but it's an like,
old Epcot vibe almost. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good. Like I don't know how to describe it. It kind of just hits like a perfect time of when like I guess I equate it to like, I think back to in our city, like the Science Center in the 90s had a very similar vibe to like Living with the Land, right? Like it feels like you're hanging out in a science center, which is, I mean, nowadays, like, they're fun and, I don't know about, or I'm assuming like, we have one here, but, they've updated it to, there's a lot more like kids playgrounds and stuff like that. Like it didn't feel quite as kid friendly back in the 90s, but it still had a particular vibe to it that you wanted to be there. So that's kind of what this is giving. Like I'm actually like listening to this to the music here as we're talking, and I'm like,
I was listening to it too.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out if I could play it on the show without having copyright issues, but probably wouldn't. But
seems dangerous.
It does. It's just so chill though. It's like so relaxing, and it's just kind of gives you that nostalgia vibe though too. It's just I'm a big fan of this. I'm definitely going to watch this at some point in the background. Have it just relaxing while I, do something stupid on my phone. Who knows? So I just had to bring it up, Trevor, because I know you love Living with the Land and I love Living with the Land. Mm-hmm. And also we both like the ambiance things. We like the park music stuff and the, like to put on the background when we're trying to concentrate or something like that. So this just kind of hit all those spots. Yeah,
I think I'm going to just leave this on in the background for the rest of the episode here we're recording.
Okay. If you hear Trevor snoring, you know why.
If I pass out, that is why. Actually, no, that won't happen because we're actually doing something. But I might. I mean, this might be. I might see how easily I can fall asleep to this tonight.
That's a good idea.
Just put it on my phone.
Yeah. Just have it going, right?
Yeah.
So we've been talking more Disney cruise lately, and I'm good with it. I listen, this is our show. We do whatever we want. Yeah. I have gotten more into cruising with Disney, and I like talking about this stuff, and I think a lot of our audience does too. And I know a lot of a couple of our listeners have gone on cruises because we've been talking about it, right? So it's which is cool. I love the fact that we talk about these things and then get somebody to do something. I feel like though Disney should give us a little kickback on that, but that's neither here nor there, Trevor.
We're not vacation planning for people, I guess would be the thing.
Yeah, But
we'd have to set all that up. But
anyway.
yes, sorry, I'll just point it out that, yes, you're right. We've been talking with people on the Discord and people are setting up Disney cruises. I am not the one pushing people right now, though.
Fault. Yeah, no, it's my fault.
Just so we're clear, is that I'm not being the bad influence, even though I have done it in the past. But yeah,
you didn't do anything to make me. I just did it. You just gave me an idea and made me, think about it a little bit more. But a couple things came out here. One of them is that Disney has Disney Cruise Line has extended a contract with the Port of San Diego, and is planning. I believe I saw somewhere to double the amount of cruises there. Is that what I read?
Something.
Yes.
Yeah.
The sailings out of this port from Disney will almost double. So over the next couple of years. So, and the Disney Wonder is going to make San Diego its home port starting at the end of this year for at least over a year there. So. This is great for our West Coast friends and our West Coast listeners. This is, really, really good for them. But also, I kind of really want to take one out of San Diego. I would love to do that. And so this is a good opportunity. Now there's going to be more itineraries as Disney gets more ships here. We have the Believe coming out next year, and then, there's ships coming out every year. So, you never know. But we have to see.
Yeah,
but I will definitely get myself out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like this is, we've been saying we need to get you to Disneyland. This feels like do a couple of days at Disneyland and then go get on a cruise in San Diego might be the play. Because
somebody in the Discord mentioned you can take the train between those two places very easily. And it's like a really nice train ride. And I'm like, that sounds amazing to me. Go on a cruise, take a train ride up the coast to Disneyland. Like, that sounds awesome. Like, I want to do that.
Because even driving, like, I'll admit, I think the last time we drove from San Diego to LA was in 2014, but it was only like I want to say it was like an hour to get between them. Like, it's not that far. So. And that's driving. I mean, and that's also like we weren't exactly going fast because we I hadn't been to the area a lot, so we were kind of figuring our way down the highway, so to speak. So that's definitely. And actually, I didn't even realize that there was a train between LA and San Diego at this point, because
I think that's what somebody said in the Discord, right? I'm making that up, but I swear that was somebody said it was like really easy to go in between the two. And I'm forgetting who it is.
Pacific Surfliner train to San Diego, Los Angeles, Ventura, Santa Barbara. Yeah, it seems like there's it's about a 2-hour trip. Okay. Yeah.
It's not bad.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Like I said, if it's highway obviously would be quicker because you're not having to, or highways are more direct, I guess, usually. But if you just take a train ride and you don't even have to rent a car or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to find that post in the Discord. It was where it was really interesting there.
I'm reading on Reddit and people are just saying like, yeah, you do a ride share from Disneyland to the train and then you can.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
So this is Dan K said they added Disneyland trip on as well. Highly recommend the Amtrak as it picks up directly across from the port and drops you very close to Disneyland Resort. And it's also a beautiful trip across the coast. Like that's
Amtrak.
You want to talk about that's a really good tip right there. That's an excellent tip from Dan. Thank you, Dan. So yeah. So that's cool. I would do that in a heartbeat, honestly.
Cool.
Now you're Googling.
You got me looking at this stuff. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is actually. So yeah, Amtrak, the Pacific Surfliner train is what you're looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. The other thing that just came out too, and this isn't really relevant to you, more to me. And I got this email and then it started a whole thing. Because I got the email and I was like, darn you, Disney Cruise Line. Why are you doing this to me? Yeah. Like, why are you sending me? It's like, don't send me these things.
Right? They know what they're doing.
Yeah. I know. So now through June 14th, guests can book on itineraries departing between October 2026 and March 2027 and can enjoy 50% off kids' fares. is a new deal that they're doing here. It's on select sailings, and none of them really worked out for us. But as soon as we saw that, my wife was like, "Huh? Yeah, you want to check it out and see if there's anything that works out for us?" So I was like, "I do want to check it out, but I also don't." Because
I think you just need to make it work.
Yeah,
better. Like you say, none of it works for you. I think you're not making it work.
It's more just the school schedule is what doesn't.
Come on, no. Yeah, I know.
I don't want to get in more trouble here.
yeah. I guess you could end up in the principal's office having a conversation. Yeah.
But anyways, so that's our cruise segment for this episode. But I'm sure it gives you a little more, because I know you've been thinking about it and you're still thinking about it. So if there's more out of San Diego, that would be a good route for you guys. I mean, it's not close, but it's not as far as you going all the way to Port Canaveral.
Yeah, it's like I've said, the big difference is getting to Port Canaveral is, before we even get there, it's a 5-hour flight, and getting to California is only about an hour and a half flights. So
it's not so bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely something to think about, but I don't want to say that we are going to go on a cruise. It's still very much up in the air at this point.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I had to add this next topic on here, Trevor, because
it's a weird little call out, but it's very interesting.
Okay, so you don't think it's weird that I added this?
No, I get it, and I was honestly a little bit surprised. The way the headline reads made it sound like it was being put back in the ride, but it's not. No. So okay, what we're talking about is back in the day on Kilimanjaro Safari, there was actually an animatronic on Kilimanjaro. It was a baby elephant called Little Red. So that there was a whole story in Kilimanjaro. Yeah. And it was talking about poaching. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to say the storyline on the original ride was kind of dark.
It was. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It was really dark. Yeah.
Yeah. But so apparently Little Red is back. But he's specifically, or you can only see him in the, if you do the Caring for Giants tour. So that they have the yeah. But so I guess you'll have to do it again. My daughter would probably love that. I have to tell you, if you're going to do a tour at Disney, Animal Kingdom has some of the coolest tours. If you like animals, if you don't like animals, then whatever. But there's some really like animals. Why are you here?
They don't go there. But but there are some amazing tours that you can take into Animal Kingdom and get really close to the animals. And even when we did the Caring for Giants tour, I mean, it had to have been 10 years ago. We actually got to go in the building where they house the elephants, like at night and, during other times. And it was really cool. I mean, it was very, very neat. So there's a lot of that cool stuff. I mean, given you do have to obviously keep your distance, right? There is, even though there's like barriers, there's like gaps in the barriers. And so they have like a line that you can only go up to, because otherwise theoretically the elephant could reach out and grab you with their trunks. But it is a very cool thing. But it is funny that they brought back Little Red. And I actually, part of why I put this on here, Trevor, is because I was at the first year of Animal Kingdom. Like we went there the first year that it was open. And so I went on the original version of the ride, and I remember it very, very vividly. There was, for those that don't know, I'm sure there's videos on the internet, but like the guide would like interact with like a pre-recorded thing. They would pretend like they were talking back and forth. There was a whole thing where we were chasing poachers and then the whole thing with little Red. And, you're basically trying to hunt down these poachers. And, it was, like I said, it was very dark, because I think the very original version, before the park even opened, the Big Red was no longer alive when you got to the end of it, which was not great. I don't think that part ever, I don't know if that actually ever launched or not, but I don't remember.
I don't see how it could have. I mean, I feel like there would have been blowback if it was, but also this was also the same era where Alien Encounter, was a
You got
thing.
too far with dead elephants, though, man. Dead baby elephants. That's a little harsh.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that at the end, they made it. So I remember this too. Like I got to ride the original version of it as well. I think it was actually like very close to the end of what, before they changed it. I didn't realize how, or like, the first time I went, it was like, I think we caught a lot of that stuff, like even like the Yeti in Everest and all that. Like we caught all that stuff before it all changed. And, I think I was lucky that when I go back and I read about it, it was like, I was there like 6 months before all these things actually were taken apart and changed into other things. So like for Kilimanjaro, I remember that, the funny thing was I remember thinking like, they had the animatronic at the end and it was like, they're putting him into like a cage. Like, they're like, oh, we're going to take him to, a reserve or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember thinking at the time, I was like, that seems it seemed a little corny and a little unnecessary for what it was. But, I also get like you say, they were trying to, put some messaging forward around like poaching and stuff. And cause it's a real legitimate issue in areas in Africa that, they're trying to combat. And so, I get them putting awareness around it, but it was like, I guess without knowing the pretext of the ride, it kind of blindsided me. Like I was like, oh, I didn't come here for this. I was coming for, a vacation, not for, to be told about these things, which is not to say that, that you should be aware of these things. It's good that they were educating people on it, but I was more so like, oh, this isn't what I thought this was going to be. Right. So I kind of understand why they did maybe go back and change it. But like I said, knowing that the animatronic is still around and they have it on display, which is, it's very nice. It's obviously it's not actually like doing anything. But they have a little placard there for it and everything is, kind of a cool nod back to what the ride used to be. Right. So
this is when it's good that Disney are hoarders and they never throw anything away.
Now they are. Yeah. They learned their lesson finally.
Yeah. They never get rid of stuff. And then even if they do, they reuse it. But yeah, it's so funny. The only thing I wish with Kilimanjaro Safari, like I don't miss this storyline. I do miss the rickety bridge that we used to shake. Like I don't know if that just broke and they never fixed it, or if they just decided to take it out. But that was always so cool. I don't know. I was just
because that's right by the crocodiles, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like right. There's a bridge where they stop, and it used to shake back and forth, and like they would do a whole thing, and they were telling. I remember they were telling us all to lean to one side because it was like it's bummer because I don't know the last time that they even did it. I feel like it hasn't. I don't know. Maybe they just turned it off because maybe it was like slowing down capacity. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it was one of those things that like didn't really make sense because there wasn't any, or like I said, the previous version of the ride was very like it was trying to create an air of danger and like you were going into something dangerous, whereas now it's very much just like a tour. I feel like having the rickety bridge thing is like completely unnecessary at this point. So it depends on where you look on the internet, but some people are saying that they completely removed it, and some people are saying that it's still there, they just don't use it anymore. So I don't know. But I don't know. It's just disappointing because that was always a fun part of the ride. It made it feel like you were really on a safari driving around on these rickety bridges, and I mean, I don't know. I feel like the ride in and of itself is good enough. I don't think you need. I think honestly, like there is a time and a place for effects like that. I don't think that Kilimanjaro needs it.
I understand. I just thought it was cool. But anyway,
right. You had a couple of merch things on here that we should probably get into. So the first one I see is Bluey merchandise coming to Disney parks and Disney Store.
I need to see if this is available right now, because those bracelets, I kind of feel like I need to buy for my daughter. Like right now.
What does it say? Best mates on it?
She would. Yeah. She loves. My daughter loves her jewelry. She loves making jewelry. She loves Bluey. This little Bluey ear hat too. It's not an ear hat. It's one of those customizable headbands.
Oh, okay, man.
Yeah. Like they're gonna sell an insane amount of this stuff. That show is still drawing huge crowds. It's crazy.
So the interesting thing is, I don't see anything about. Oh no, wait, sorry. Okay, I don't like how they did this article, because it says right at the beginning, Bluey merchandise at the Disneyland Resort. And I was like, oh, they're only selling it at Disneyland. But then when you go further down, it is going to be available at Disney World, but I don't.
We just don't have the show yet at Disney World, so we're waiting for that.
But yeah, it says that the merch will be hitting Animal Kingdom. Yeah. Ahead of the conservation station updates at May 26th. So
exactly.
So I guess to that end, maybe you need to get down to Animal Kingdom sooner than you realize.
Why are you trying to do this to me, Trevor?
I guess okay. The next part is it is available on the Disney Store too. I guess you could get it from the Disney Store if you want, but it's more fun to go to Animal Kingdom and get it.
Not yet. I just went and looked, and it's not there. Which is very disappointing. But
it says starting this summer, select items from Bluey merchandise collection will be available at Disney stores. So not everything will be available.
All right. Well, I just gotta wait, I guess. No, it's funny you say that though, Trevor, because my wife and I were talking about something associated with going. Like we were talking about some Disney news, right? And my wife kind of looked at me with like the sad eyes, and she was like, I want to go. And I'm like, I looked at her, I turned to her and I said, we can go anytime you want. We can go next week if you want. I don't care. Let's go. Like, if you really want to go, let's go. Like, I didn't think you wanted to go. Let's go.
So stop making it seem like I'm the one holding this back.
I'm not holding this up. I want to go. Let's go. Let's do it. We haven't gone in a while. We haven't done a week trip in 2 years now. And we've done little trips, but like, I want to do the full thing again, Yep. But yeah,
I'm there with you.
we got into cruising, and then we got distracted. So, by cruising, and it's also the school thing is also hard too. We've talked about this. The school, working around school is difficult. And when my wife and I were younger, and it was just the two of us, we would go to Disney in July like crazy people. Because it's insanely hot there on July. Like, I don't think my daughter could deal with July. So,
yeah, I wouldn't want to bring my son at his current age. I wouldn't want to take him there in July, because it would just be, it would be a miserable time for everybody involved.
Yeah.
So
anyway, but so I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'm going to take a trip later this year.
But, so I mean, at the very least, like I said, some of the stuff will be available on DisneyStore.com. But if you're hunting for a particular item, you may have to just figure out how to get down to Animal Kingdom. I mean, Animal Kingdom Lodge is your home resort, and
it is. I love Animal Kingdom. It's my favorite park. So yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just just putting that out there.
Let's move on from this before I end up booking a Disney trip.
Before you convince yourself.
Oh no, I'm convinced. I want to go. I tried to get us to go after the cruise, and I was met with with the big no. So. Yeah. But anyway, so last but not,
I feel like a bracelet would be a very hard sell, but
to go all the way down there for it. Yeah. I mean, listen, they got bracelets. My daughter also loves keychains. So that's another thing I would be getting for her, these keychains. There's some cool shirts. There's a little jacket, a headband, a couple headbands, a bucket hat. I actually really like the headband with Bluey and Bingo on it. Although there should also be Muffin on there too. There just needs to be Muffin, but that's neither here nor there. I need more Muffin.
I feel like they're not going to do the supporting characters quite yet. I mean, it'll just be Bluey and Bingo for the first little while, and then
I don't need all the supporting characters. I just need Muffin.
Just Muffin. Okay.
Just Muffin. I don't care about anybody else. I don't care about Socks. Forget that. I don't care about that. Forget Socks. Or any of her friends. Don't care about the friends, just want Muffin. So that's all I care about. Because Muffin is the greatest character ever, and that's all.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Now that we've gotten that out of the way,
Okay. So we're going to circle back on this Star Wars merch stuff. I think this is probably
last release. Yeah. I know you were particularly excited about this one. I think, if I remember correctly.
I was, but now I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a little bummed by it too, but you go through it. You start going.
So they have a couple of jackets and shirts and everything, and it's pod racing, obviously. So the stuff is, they're referencing the Boonta Eve Classic and Mos Espa, and they're meant to look like racing jackets, and it doesn't feel right.
I get what they're going for. It just, I agree, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but whoever they got to do these photo shoots, like, they're not. This is not how you show off merch.
No, like, they made this a little too high, end, right? Yeah,
they're all like hunched over and trying to be all edgy, and it's like, oh, look at my jacket that says Mos Espa Grand Prix and Skywalker on the back, but it's like, that's not. Like, it does not.
No,
it doesn't fit with the, that's not what pod racing was. It wasn't. I mean, it was a racing league, but they're trying to make this look like it's like F1 or NASCAR or something, and it just doesn't. It doesn't fit to me. Like,
it doesn't feel right.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, just the way that they've got them posing on these things, where it's like you can't even properly see what's on the shirt because they're all hunched over and bent in weird positions and stuff. And it's like, I don't know what they're doing. Whoever picked this part of it, come on, guys, of this entire merch line, and they have the rest of it here, going back through it, it's the rest of it looks clean. It looks, well presented for what it is. And, the Endor stuff is still my favorite out of all these things. I didn't think that Endor would be the thing that I take out of this merch line, but that's the only ones that are actually good. The pod racing stuff just, it feels, when Star Wars Phantom Menace came out, and it was very polarizing. There was people that liked it. There was people that did not like Star Wars. And it was because it was a combination of things in the movie that people were not happy with. And it felt, there were points of the movie that felt out of touch with the rest of the Star Wars universe. That's what this merch line is giving to me. I thought the pod racing sequence was great. I very much enjoyed it. I would go back and watch it and be that was, it was a cool race. It was cool how they, they're winding through the canyons and everything. And that part felt good, but this merch feels like the rest of the movie where it's they took the bad parts and tried to emphasize it, and it just doesn't.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And the lettering is not even sorry, I just keep looking at this. It doesn't look like anything out of Star Wars. It just looks like a generic racing jacket with a bunch of logos on it.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of these.
Yeah, what are they doing?
I don't know. The X-Wing shirt's not bad.
Yeah, the X-Wing shirt is okay. It's the only thing that is decent out of this thing, but yeah, this part of it, especially the fact that they highlight pod racing was going to be the theme of this, and it's no, it's not. You could have made you're selling a NASCAR jacket that just has pod racing references on it, but it's not. That's not what I was envisioning this merch was going to be, I guess.
Yeah, I get that. By the way, can I go back to one of the ones we talked about previously? Because we got some stuff wrong about the mystery box set.
Oh, okay.
So the mystery
with the 6 shirts, yeah.
Yeah, do you remember we talked about the mystery box set? So I thought when we read it, and they didn't really give this detail, so it's not really our fault. But it's not, you don't get one shirt with that. You actually get 6 shirts, and there are 7 possible designs. So you could get where the mystery comes in is you could get the 6 known designs, or it could be 5 of the known designs and a rare mystery chaser design that they don't advertise. So that's where you were talking about how mad you'd be if you got like a shirt for one that you don't like, but here you would get all of the shirts and maybe the mystery shirt. So that's how they get people, right? Is that you want to get that mystery shirt.
Sorry, hold on. You said you do get all 6 shirts, or you said you get 5 plus a mystery one potentially.
Yeah, so you get 6 shirts, and out of 7 possible, it could be the 6 known designs, which are the ones that we looked at, Trevor. So the ones that all of those, you get one of each of those, or it could be 5 of the known designs and then 1 of this mystery one.
Okay, so the mystery one would have to be amazing if I didn't get the episode 6 shirt.
yeah, exactly.
Because that's the other side of that is that, great that most of the time you would just get those 6 shirts, and I guess that's cool. You get a pack of 6 Spirit jerseys, but if getting the rare one, I guess that's exciting. But if it's at the sacrifice of one of the shirts that I actually wanted, I don't know that. That shirt better be good.
So it says here the mystery chaser item is 1 in 36. So every 1 out of every 36. Now, I also want to mention though too, Trevor.
Still not buying it.
It's sold out. Number one, it's sold out already.
Yeah.
But how much would you guess that this mystery box set of 6 shirts costs?
For 6 shirts, I mean, I gotta say, I feel like it's $200+.
It is $599.99.
Whoa.
Yeah. That was not what I was expecting. Limited edition right there.
No.
But it's sold out. It's sold out.
That's insane. That is.
When I saw that price, I was like, yeah.
That's $100 per shirt.
Yeah. This is why I had to bring this back up again, because I pulled up Disney Store and I happened to see it. I saw that it was sold out. And I also saw that we were wrong about it, but the fact that it was $600, we did not see that last time. There
is no universe where I'm buying,
especially not the Star Wars universe.
one $100 shirt, let alone 6.
That's a lot. That's definitely for somebody who wants to collect or
that's
badly needs that mystery shirt,
Yeah, that's entirely collector realm stuff. That's. I could never even wear, if I bought a shirt and it cost me $100, I would not be able to wear the shirt because I would be like, I spent too much money on this and I don't want to wreck it.
Yeah. I agree. That's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah. Anyway, I just had to bring that back up again because I saw that and I was like, $600 and it's sold out. I mean, I don't know how many of them they sold, but considering it's 1 in 36, I mean, they probably have thousands of these that they sold, I would think.
Yeah, between this and the Mos Espa Classic jacket, Disney, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing here.
Wait, now I pulled up another listing and it says $100, but that can't be right. Maybe it's for one shirt. Maybe this one's for one shirt. Yeah. Magic. Oh yeah, you could do one shirt for $100 or all of them for $600.
Yeah, no, that I'm not like I said, I guess I'm sure there's somebody out there that really wants to collect stuff like this, but $600 is steep. Even by Disney standards, that's crazy.
Here's the thing though, Trevor, they're sold out and back ordered. So
but again, that is clear. There's 2 types of people that are buying that. One is the hardcore collectors, which respect. Sure. I'm not saying it's wrong, but there's people that want to collect that stuff, and all the more power to you. Then there's a subsection of people that are trying to resell this stuff, which that is the part about this.
What I mean by that, though, the fact that both of them are sold out. One is sold out and the other one's back ordered tells me that they probably could have charged even more. They probably could have charged more and got
or they could have just made more of them up front, and because it's a shirt with some silk screening on it. How hard is that?
Special edition, Trevor. Limited edition.
Okay. I mean,
I don't get it either. So I
for
just,
scarcity. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But listen, Disney's been doing that for a long time. I mean, it was the Disney Vault, man. It was for scarcity, right?
Yeah, I thought they had, I don't know.
That was a hot feedback thing, by the way, too.
Yeah, I thought they had learned their lesson on this stuff, but I guess, to be fair, maybe it's, you keep that one thing that people chase, which, is fine. Like you said, people chasing a rare shirt or whatever. But then that means, I guess, the rest of this merch is more readily available because people aren't hunting for it.
Yeah.
So
this is like the main collector thing, I think, in this. Yeah. In this line, right? So like it's all this May the 4th stuff. This is like the collector thing to me. So that's probably why, because everything else is available. Like you can get all the other stuff. Yeah,
I would just be going for the Endor stuff. That would be my collectible out of this is the Endor stuff.
the Commander Pyre voice changing helmet for adults is $130.
It's cool, but when am I wearing that while I'm making dinner? Like,
I would really well listen. First of all, it changes your voice, right? So like, which is kind of cool. I would pay you dollars to go to the grocery store with that on your head, just with no content. You just, there's no explanation. You just walk around with that on your head.
I mean, yeah, you could do that. I feel like, I mean, the thing is you're not really interacting with anybody at a grocery store. So,
yeah. I mean, no one's going to say anything to you either, right? Like,
yeah. I see people walk around the grocery store in their pajamas, so I don't know that this would be that out of place necessarily, but I mean, yeah, I guess it would still be a little weird.
I think it'd be okay.
I'm just thinking because it has the voice changers, if I'm making dinner and it's like, can you pass the salt, please? Like,
just walk around asking your wife for her identification or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
they're not authorized to handle the chicken.
See, there's endless uses here.
Yeah.
Well, because you certainly can't wear this around the park for more reasons than one, right? Like they can't. I mean, maybe you can, but
what's to stop you from just wearing the helmet? Like,
Yeah, I guess that's not really a costume, right? It's just a helmet.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but I'm actually, it might violate. I recall there being something about not having anything covering your face either, so that it might be on that.
That's not fun then. Because like that would be fun to walk around. No, it wouldn't be fun because it'd be hot as can be. That helmet would.
You'd be sweating, and like 2 minutes in, you would be like, "I need this thing off."
Like, I need to take this off of me immediately, or I'm going to die. You're right. There's not a lot of practical applications for this, Trevor. You're correct. But listen, these are not practical things. You shouldn't buy.
I'm still disappointed about this pod racing stuff. Yeah. Like I was all excited that it was going to be cool, and they did the opposite of cool.
They were they tried something, right? They were trying to like tie it to modern time. I get it, but they
it doesn't. They failed. But it should like. Sorry, like I'm not hating on like F1 and NASCAR stuff. Like that's fine for F1 and NASCAR stuff. This is trying to be something that it's not.
Yeah,
that's my issue with it. Is like. They took that format and they just overlaid it on this. And it's like they could have put any words on here, and it doesn't make sense. Like, because where in what world are you wearing a jacket that says like Mos Espa Grand Prix? That it looks like a racing jacket. But who's going to know what the Mos Espa Grand Prix is unless you're a Star Wars fan? Like it doesn't, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like I wouldn't ever be wearing that.
You wouldn't. Oh man. Yeah. All right. On that note, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
I do want this helmet just so I can walk around pretending to be a stormtrooper and just annoy my wife incessantly.
Yeah. I mean, the batteries would suddenly go missing. Yeah. No.
My wife would eventually crack and just go, take off that helmet. And like, there'd be curses in there too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Let's leave it there. Hopefully, there's some better merch coming down the line. That's not, or I mean, I should say like all the merch was bad. Like there was some good pieces in there, but I feel like, they can't always be batting 1,000, and not everything's meant for me either. I know that. Like, I'm sure there's somebody that will want that, but I'll be honest, of all the merch, I feel like the one thing that will not sell out will be the pod racing stuff. That's my take.
Yeah,
I could be wrong though. I'm not saying that I'm an expert on it. I'm just saying that of all the stuff that we reviewed, that is the least appealing. So
I get
leave it there. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I guess, considering we talked actually about a lot of different things today. So, random stuff, but I think it was a good spread of stuff. So, if you're listening to the show and you have questions for us, you want to share your own takes on it, or, share your trip reports, all that kind of stuff, you can always email us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com, or you can find us through our website, which is welcomehomepodcast.co. You can go to the contact us section on there, which will, fire us off an email the same way. But, you can go to the website if you want to come ask us stuff or send us stuff. You can also follow us on social media. So we are on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast. We're on YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast. We're on Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. We also have our Facebook group, Welcome Home Disney Waitlist. You can join and get in on the conversation. Share trip reports. Again, love seeing people just talking about Disney stuff and talking about their own take on it. Because obviously everything on the show here is that's our take on it, but we love to hear what you guys think about it too, because we all do Disney differently. So if you, like I said, if you want to follow us on social media, we are out there. Also, if you want to help support the show, you can go to store.welcomehomepodcast.co and check out our different merch. We got a lot of good stuff on there. If there's something that you would like to see added to the store, just drop us an email, and we have options to add different merch. So if there's something that you would like to see there, we can look at adding it to the store. Just let us know. And also, if you want to help support us through Patreon, you can find us on Patreon, or I'm going to say Patreon too many times here. Patreon.com/welcomehomepod is our Patreon, and you can support us through Patreon. And I'm going to stop saying it before it stops.
Stop saying Patreon.
Feeling like a word. Yeah. But yeah, for everyone who supports us through Patreon, you get an exclusive logo that you can only get there. And, it also gets you access to the Discord server, which, like we said, we have lots of great conversations on Discord as well. People planning cruises and stuff like that. But also just, talking about, a lot of the stuff we talk about on the show. Sometimes we do sneak peeks on Discord as well. So, please come check us out there if you're interested. And last but not least, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere you can leave us a 5-star review, please do so. It just helps more people find the show. Just how the internet works. It helps your friends realize that we're out there too. And, I guess outside of the 5 stars, if there's anybody that you think might like the show, send it to them as well, because we'd love for more people to enjoy the show.
Best way to find new podcasts, right? Hear what your friends have to say. So the other thing you can do is subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast, so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Spotify, YouTube Music, just about any podcast app that's out there. You can find us. Huge thank you, first of all, to DVC Rental Store for sponsoring this episode, being great friends, and just being awesome. So anything DVC related, go check them out. And of course, Keyholder Vacations, which is the umbrella corporation, the umbrella mega corporation that Nick has built over the past 10 years here, that can do everything for you when it comes to Disney or just vacations in general.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you there for a second because you said Umbrella, and I've been playing Resident Evil 9 a lot lately. And I don't know if you know Resident Evil lore, but Umbrella is like the bad corporation in there. So you're kind of sorry. I know I interrupted your spiel, but
how dare you?
But you said Umbrella, and I was like, no, wait, no, they're not like that.
No, they're not evil.
Not Umbrella. They're good.
They do nothing but good. So
yeah.
Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC. To a house when we had a chair, how she can cuddle is no man's affair. I look around for all the holes, found her in her sugar bowl.